Hello there, welcome to saberduelgaming, where we always take the high ground. And welcome to saberduelgaming's At the Movies, where we take a look at your favourite games adaptation to the big screen. And today it is the turn of Super Mario. Yes, Super Mario Brothers, which have had so many fantastic games, and finally they are making it onto the big screen in a way that will hopefully rival Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, this fantastic... What? Wait, what do you mean we're not doing that one? What other one can we be? No. Oh, God, no. Okay, I'll do it. Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Released in 1993, hot on the tail of Super Mario World and Super Mario All-Stars, two of the brightest, most vividly colourful and beautiful Mario games of all time. And we got this, two plumbers sulking in a flat in Brooklyn. Okay, I'm being over the top with the cynicism here. I actually went to see this film as a kid, and at the time, kind of enjoyed it, so let's try and tap into that. What is the setting and storyline for this Super Mario Brothers movie? Well, the film starts in Brooklyn with our two plumber friends Mario and Luigi Mario. Pretty sure that only came from this, but it has been adapted into canon. They get sucked into an alternate reality, a bizarre parallel dimension? Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense. Where dinosaurs evolved into these clearly ape-like humans. That doesn't make sense either. And this world looks nothing like any of the worlds in Super Mario Bros. The game. Quite frankly, its closest link, I would say, is something like Blade Runner. It's pretty dark, gritty, grimy, and not particularly pleasant to look at. Basically, the Mario Brothers have to rescue Daisy. She's the daughter of the original king, who's now been turned into a load of fungus that surrounds the kingdom. That's as near to a mushroom kingdom as we're going to get, by the way. And this place is now being run by Bowser, yes, the King Koopa. But he's more like a sleazy president. No comments there. And his general plan is to use some weird little crystal thing, put it inside a meteorite, and unite these two worlds. That makes no sense, and that's the third time already I've said that. Okay, positives. So let's try and think how this does tie into the game. Well, we do have Mario and Luigi, and in fairness, Bob Hoskins is a really good look for Mario. John Leguizamo as Luigi, well, he doesn't look anything like him, let's be honest. However, he does play the character in a quite likeable and enthusiastic way, so I'm not going to slate that too much. Dennis Hopper as King Koopa, however, I've got nothing for you. He is in no way King Koopa. He is not Bowser. He's a relatively believable villain, and you certainly want to see him get his comeuppance. He's magnetic on the screen, but he's not that character in any way. And that right there is something you're going to have to get used to. Remember the giant fish from Super Mario Bros. 3, Big Bertha? There she is. Apparently Mario's love interest. And remember Yoshi, the intelligent dinosaur, is now this pet on a chain. It's kind of grim, really. There's some scenes later on where Mario and Luigi are at least wearing their correct colours and clothing, kind of. And they eventually get these boots that give them an excuse to jump, because we know jumping is the key thing that Mario Brothers games are about. But other than that, it's very rare that any of these characters or locations feel anything like the characters and locations we know from the game. Its name alone. That's it. One of the biggest problems for this is that the film is trying to be silly, goofy, and light-hearted, but everything about it is so dark, dank, and depressing. But how was the film reviewed at the time? Well, it did actually garner some credit and praise, mainly for set designs and special effects. It was actually nominated for an award, which it eventually didn't win for those same effects. Janet Maslin of New York Times and Mark Caro of Chicago Tribune also pointed out the fantastic dynamic and relationship between the characters of Mario and Luigi, and just how entertaining these two were together. and a host of different reviewers gave praise for the Goomba characters, comparing them to the flying monkeys from Return to Oz. But the reality is, the Goombas are supposed to be tiny mushrooms, and this is where this praise maybe falls flat. This was, as far as I understand it, the first time a video game had been adapted into a movie, and most of these critics reviewing it had next to no concept of the game they were comparing it to. Now that doesn't mean they're wrong. In many ways they're probably giving a fairer assessment of the film. But unfortunately, when you're making a movie, it's the fans of the franchise you're supposed to be gearing it towards. And if we look back on it now, the whole retro review perspective, well, Bob Hoskins himself has described it as an absolute nightmare. He clearly did not enjoy his time on set and has expressed regret for making the movie at all. On Rotten Tomatoes it sits on 29% and on IMDb it sits on 4.1 out of 10. Neither one of these is great scores realistically. But in the end, I think it comes down to how you want to judge this. Do you want to judge it as a film? One which even the co-directors has said they regret and described as a harrowing experience, but at the same time has been nominated for awards for the special effects, and many people praise the acting of the two main characters. Or as a big fan of gaming and the Super Mario Bros. Franchise, do you want to judge it compared to what you wanted it to be? In which case, this isn't just bad, it's a slap in the face. Using things like the Super Scope from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System as the main weapon within the film is a cute reference, but other than that, it just doesn't really feel like there's any love for the franchise in this. The soundtrack to this by Roxette, Almost Unreal, is probably better than the movie itself and well worth checking out. However, in fairness to this film, one thing that has to be reiterated is that translating a game into a movie is not easy. Look at how many of them have been bad. And without this first attempt, maybe they wouldn't have known where they were going to go wrong going forward. This was maybe an unfortunately necessary step that had to be made so that they could learn what things worked, what things translated onto the big screen, and what things didn't. When to try and make things using live animation, and when you just have to accept that these things don't work too well in the real world, and instead it's better to keep them in animated form. And hopefully that's why the Super Mario Bros. Movie that we hope to get will be the one that can set this right. But until then, the 1993 version of Super Mario Bros. Gets a 4 out of 10 rating for me. But what do you think? Have I been too harsh? Are you a lover of this? Comment below, let me know, and we'll see you next time. And until then, take the high ground.